What's up, guys? Gentle Tornado back for the Hyped Happy Hour podcast, episode 5. My man, Jeremyknows. We are just fired up to be here, both of us. Episode 5. Had to get Jeremy on episode 5. It was meant to be on this beautiful night. Hyped is a company that I created. It is an acronym that stands for happiness, inspiration, positivity, enthusiasm, and dreams. The logo is an H with a heartbeat in the middle because we never know how many heartbeats we have. So tomorrow could be our last heartbeat. Today could be our last heartbeat. We have one life and we are here living it every single day. The goal of this podcast is to bring awareness to the words within Hyped and to the one life that we have, and that we can live it even better every day through gratitude. Today, I have a guest that I truly love to my core. One of my guys, got to hang out with them for an extended amount of time in New York, and we just meshed. He is the man. He is the VeeFriends content #1 guy. Jeremyknows. How are you doing, my friend?
I am happy, healthy, and stoked. I'm hyped, you might say.
Let's go.
I'm very happy to be here. I feel like this is one of those encounters. Like you said, we just ran into each other in New York. We just hit it off. We really didn't even intend to meet up together. I just stumbled into a bar that you were at, and that
We had
led
a great
to
night.
3 hours.
Yeah.
This is kind of the same. It's like, you know how particles interact? Like based on your negative, positive, all these things are bouncing around. It's like there's massive energy in that subatomic
Yes.
encounter. So I feel like what just happened. And so
Yeah.
welcome to Hyped Happy Hour.
Yes. You know what was so cool about meeting up in New York was that we didn't meet up in VCon, but we had been in so many spaces together,
Right.
like in early spaces, VeeFriends stuff. So it was cool that it was just like fate that we had walked in. You had walked into that bar. I was there with some of my closest friends, and we all had just crazy energy. So I like to start the pod straight off with what you're grateful for today. So what are you grateful for today, Jeremy?
I'm, I have sort of a tower, just like as soon as you ask me, like I'm grateful for pen and paper. I have that in front of
Okay.
me. I'm grateful for my fiance. I'm grateful for water.
Yes.
Um, and I'm grateful for you. Today, the most grateful thing is catching the train. I am so grateful for arriving at the train station when the train is about to arrive and getting on.
Yes.
I love that generally, but it also happened to me today.
Oh, that's incredible. Just feels good. It's just a solid feeling.
Yeah, you hear it as you're swiping the card, and then you hustle, jaunt down the stairs, and then slide into the last car with 7 seconds to spare.
Yeah. What you feel like is a half a second. You're like, if I don't get on this train in a half a second, I'm not making it.
Look, what you said to me that night about winning streak has really stuck with me, and it's really helped
Yes.
because it takes so little to win.
Yes.
It just what you got. Wake up, win. Water,
Yes.
win.
Dude,
So
what
then
time was
when
the
it
what
gets
what
time,
time was the train? What time was the train at?
good question. It was like 5:15 p.m.
Doesn't matter, dude. You can start your winning streak at any time. It's literally. I was talking to my friend yesterday, and he was like, "Dude, I went to McDonald's. I went to get my daughter a Happy Meal. They ended up. I had to wait 15 minutes, and they gave me the Happy Meal for free." And he literally said that was the start of my winning streak. I was like, "This is the best thing I've ever heard." Literally, you're
Yeah.
right, dude. It's so simple, and the little things, water, in the morning, like that's the start of your winning streak, man.
Mm-hmm.
That is.
I caught one of these habit videos recently with anchoring habits. So I wrote down 3 times on a piece of paper, I would journal with my coffee in the morning on my porch.
Let's
So
go.
time, place, right?
Yeah.
But I already have a habit of making coffee in the morning. So when I see the pot, when I have my cup, when I pour it, it's like that's where it anchors to. And hey,
Yeah.
it's been 3 days. I haven't missed it yet.
Let's go. And you
Yeah.
just read it. Do you read that like every day? Or you just now
I
have it
have it
embedded?
in a place where I can see it. I have where I'll see it in my bedroom.
Yeah.
and it's specifically the journal that I'm journaling on,
Yeah.
right? And then the coffee, I
It's incredible.
I think about coffee multiple does I'm a coffee drinker. I drink
Same, same.
I will brew a whole pot and drink it.
I'm
Over
literally
the
the same
course
way.
of the day,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
I'm also I can have coffee at, like, 8 or 9, 10 p.m. and still go to sleep.
yeah, same. I'm literally the same. I could
Yeah,
drink coffee
that's
right now, fall
interesting.
asleep. Yeah.
Most people I talk to, it's, like, 4 p.m., 6 p.m., and then it gets scary from the anxiety.
No,
Is there
dude, 10.
anything that keeps you up at night? What does it take to, like, give you a sleepless night?
Uh,
Curveball.
yeah, I don't think anything, to be honest. That sounds kind of
Nice.
cliche, but I'm pretty I go super hard during the day. It's kind of like just like something that I've taken from Gary to the max level is like while I'm awake, I have to be going the hardest so that when I lay my head on the bed, it's like it's no phone, it's nothing, it's sleep because I got, I have three little children. So it's my schedule is so like boom, 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 boom every day. I I honestly I'm not very stressed because I'm so grateful. And so I don't know. I
That's
don't know.
awesome.
Does
No,
anything keep you up?
no, I think that's a great answer, like, I'm trying to get there, that was great. You know what I
I
mean?
don't want to sound like I mean I've been through it. You know what I mean? And the cool thing about this podcast is like I've been doing these habits for so many years, and like, on the last podcast I filmed, I talked about, I've been doing a gratitude journal for about 4 years. Every day, wake up and write what I'm grateful for, and then I started doing it on Twitter, and now it's even better
And now it's become
because
a new thing,
yeah,
it's evolved.
yeah, not only does it keep me grounded, but it helps people, and it's like you have to do those things, you have to put in that work, and then it's like I don't even know how to explain it. Like what I just said to you, like I'm not stressed.
Wow.
But
I hope the Google Twitter algorithm hears me say this, that I love seeing your videos on my Twitter feed, because reality, I think I've listened to the sound on, like, 3 to 4 of them, and mind you, I've seen hundreds, and I don't need the sound because I see you, and I literally just watch you silent because it's like, it's almost a surrogate experience. I see you, like,
yeah,
bringing it every day. And
yeah,
I love it. It has really been a nice constant
I
in
appreciate that.
the uncertainty.
Is
Yeah,
that cool? Because you're super into theater, correct?
absolutely.
So is
Yep.
that cool to see, like to watch me do that but not listen?
Yeah, everything is a performance study for me. That's the
Yeah,
weird thing that a lot of people don't know is, like, I come from a mindset of, like, studying people and trying to figure them out.
yeah,
I'm actually a little bit better of a director than an actor, but along the way, I pick up enough performances, right? Because
yeah,
everything is ultimately performance in a sense.
yeah,
Like, I think that's why the joy and the happiness conversation gets so interesting and fun, because the people who are more or wholly authentically joyful and happy and grateful end up being like a rare occurrence, because everybody's trying to mirror and posture for each other what their version of it looks like. You kind of, like, think about what the other person thinks of you. And so acting is sort of trying to comprehend and perform that minutia in this between the text in the physical body language.
yeah,
Like
yeah. Of course,
recombine how people project who they are while also having their subconscious and their conscious wants.
100%. I love
Mm.
that. I love that take. What keeps you up at night? So if
The
it
things I
happens,
want
if
to
it
do.
happens, okay,
Like, some nights I'll just run lists. Occasionally, like, I'll get in bed when I'm not actually ready to fall asleep, and I'll want to just, like, um, yeah, write a lot. I like to write.
yeah, that's cool. That's incredible. What a great start. So this kind of goes into one of my favorite parts before we get into hyped is I
Okay.
want a 2 to 3 minute superhero esque origin story of Jeremy knows. Give me from a young age to now,
Okay.
everything who you are.
I was a weirdo as a kid.
Okay.
I was a bit of a nerd. Jeremy Knows emerged in 2019 when I was a professional dabbler as an artist. I found myself independent contracting referrals from this thing to that thing. Then found teaching, taught kids age 8 and under clown how quote unquote how to play. When you're teaching, this is actually a fun niche joke for teachers. If you if you know anything about teaching kids, you have kids, so you'll understand this.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Teaching kids to play is an absolute oxymoron. Like, I was just there to lead them in merriment. I gave them some tricks about how to coordinate and balance and respond to each other. It was like the best job ever. Summer camp for 8 years. Um, but alongside doing my own productions in Orange County, LA, 2019, I was like, I do too many things. I'll do Jeremy Knows clown, Jeremy Knows teaching, Jeremy Knows puppetry, Jeremy Knows this. And I started to make the website. And then I met my fiance in 2019, October, and moved to New York City 2 weeks later to be here with her. And then 6 months later, theaters shut down worldwide. So my life kind of, I had an openness and I just had an openness to have my life wholly transformed by the VFriends and the NFT space. Like, talk about identities and people posturing as each other. I didn't know that, like, Twitter VFriends influencer was going to be a projection that people were going to have onto me, see me and think, oh, there you're Jeremy Knows, you're the VFriends guy. It's like, it's such an interesting hack because I have this database of VFriends information, but I have all these other things from, I'm planning a wedding. I'm like
Yeah.
doing all these things. So the comic book will be titled um, budget planning in Brooklyn, Mission Impossible. But there's so many. Right now I'm also becoming the yeah, I don't like the sound of Mr. VFriends. I want to live the VFriends life. That's like
Okay.
my,
Okay.
because I'm really vying for a job there now,
Yeah, yeah.
because I'm grateful I was onto this before everything turned sour, but even more so, it's like I'm looking for steady income and I want to keep in this Web3 space. So
Yeah.
let's work together. I don't know. I mean, I've begun to talk to the team, but it's going to ultimately come down to timing, maybe not
Yeah.
skill, because I'm contributing. I'm going to be here either way.
Yeah.
Anyway, I got
That's
lost
cool. I love it.
in
I
all
love
that.
it. I love that you titled it. No one has titled their origin story yet, so that's incredible.
Good.
I love it.
Make it a tradition.
Yeah, my next question before we get into it was kind of like you talk about your backstory with Gary, like how you got into Gary, and then
Mhm.
you obviously got into Gary. I know that story, but we can tell the listeners of how you originally got into Gary, morphed into VFriends Jeremy.
Wow. The first video, I remember it very clearly because I got home, parked in my driveway, went to my phone to Facebook, and I saw him talking to the students at USC. This is like a very popular one, it went viral. It's an entrepreneurship class, and the first thing he says is, well, I don't think you can teach entrepreneurship, so this is awkward. I'm Gary Vaynerchuk, and you need to leave this classroom if you really think you have the cojones to be an entrepreneur. Like, entrepreneurs would not be in this class. They would be trying to make money or doing something. And
100%.
it
Yeah.
was his whole self. And so, yeah, I ended up sitting in my car for like an hour watching his whole speech. I was like, okay. And then I found Ask Gary V and watched that. So I guess I consumed a lot of Gary V content. And I was like, eventually you get to a point where you're like, okay, I should go be doing this. Like,
Yeah.
I've actually learned a lot about where communication happens, um, dynamics. Like, he teaches so much if you're trying to build anything, really, a brand. I try to do that for myself a little bit. Did it for the companies that I was in, forgot about it. Introduced a friend named Tyler to Gary. Like, after a breakup, he was kind of low. He It didn't click. This is interesting, actually, because first touch, it didn't click. A year and a half later, during the pandemic, when he found Tea with Gary Vee, found it on his own through the algorithm, not just clicked, but like safe space, haven, hope, like pulling him out of a depression. Third touch, Gary Vee mentions NFTs, and I'm not even paying attention anymore. And I had told him about crypto, so he was like, "Hey, have you heard about the NFT that Gary Vee is doing?" And the main reason that any of this happened. He's the trigger to the whole
Yeah.
weekend thing. Yeah.
Wow, that's cool because you had introduced it to him.
Yeah.
And then
Full
and then
circle,
he
right?
found yeah, and then he found it again, right? You had introduced it to him, it didn't hit, and then it came back. That's wild, and now you're just riding this crazy wave. Do
It's,
you,
it's such a
enjoy it?
privilege.
Yeah, do you enjoy, like, the
Yes,
VFriend
dude.
stuff? Do you enjoy being in the dirt, like, the research and stuff?
It's it's hard sometimes,
Yeah,
but I love it
yeah,
because look, I don't expect this year to be what last year was, but when you give to a generous community, they give back to you.
yeah,
Like, I'm not keeping score, but I feel like I have a lot more to give for all of the favors and gifts that have been showered on me. You know,
yeah.
I'm still asking for my own thing, but like, I remember in like the first month, somebody messaged me like, wait, you don't have a V friend? Because my name on Instagram is wanna be a V friend, like the Spice Girls. So it's like wannabe, which is subtly really brilliant. It's like a nice arm of V friends. Like, you want to be a V friend? Here.
Yeah,
Da, da, da,
yeah,
da.
yeah.
Here's a clownish fellow who will tell you all about it.
That's awesome.
uh,
That is cool.
but want to be a V friend took me on a tangent. I was talking about something else. Jim.
You're yeah, I don't know. But
Okay,
we'll
something's
just
get
get
lost.
into it. We're just gonna get into it. The goal again of the podcast is to bridge Web3 and positivity, personal stuff, because I feel
Okay.
like there's not enough personal stuff maybe going in the Web3 space. We talk a lot about NFTs, maybe not about personal stuff, maybe not the dirt, maybe not where you came from. And I love merging that in a
Yeah.
positive, happy way. And I think, that's kind of my niche, is that I can get into some
Hmm.
pretty in depth conversations. So we
Yeah,
go
and
letter by letter.
that brings me back. We'll go letter by letter, but that brings me back because you asked me if I love it, and I feel like I have so much to give in thanks.
Yeah.
Someone at the earliest days, they were like, "If you don't have a V friend, I want to help get you one." People that didn't even have V friends were like, "I have a little bit, and I'll help." And that happened a lot in the early community, like dozens of V friends given away. Board Apes the same. People were
Yeah.
just like welcoming people to the community. And like I had one, so I didn't use that, but like the fact that that came from just a couple weeks of making content. So like I understand I've given a lot, and I've given people a place to come back to be like, how do I tap into Web3 V friends? But this next year is going to be bigger and badder and faster and slower. It's going
Yeah.
to be
Yeah.
it's a builder's market. It's going to be a very cool year.
I agree with you 100%. And I think that the cool thing, I don't want to say this already, but I'm going to say it. You've inspired so many people. I wanted to do that under inspiration, but fuck it, we're here. You've inspired so many people to do their own thing, right? To do their own content in VFriends. Me personally, to do my own content outside of VFriends. I'm heavily a Gary V Maxi. I fucking die for him, but I'm not doing VFriends content. I want to do my own thing. And I,
Totally.
have been watching you for fucking whatever, a year. And so that's cool because you can inspire other people. And like you said, just keep giving, giving, jab, 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 jab. So we are going to go letter by letter. We are going
Big
to get
one.
into happiness first, one of the best ones. And I'm going to pull up my favorite definition of happiness.
Okay.
I'm going to screen share it. You might have heard it, you might have not. It's by Ralph Waldo Emerson. It's what is success? To laugh often and much, to win the respect of intelligent people and the affection of children, to earn the appreciation of honest critics and endure the betrayal of false friends, to appreciate the beauty, to find the best in others, to leave the world a bit better, whether by a healthy child, a garden patch, or a redeemed social condition, to know even one life has breathed easier because you have lived. this is to have succeeded.
Mm.
So give me your initial reaction to that. How do you feel right now?
I feel quite happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel quite happy.
Have you heard
I
that before?
I think I believe I have, but I haven't given it a moment. It's I think that last piece is the tie all. It's like even one. Even like how we started, like it can be small
Yeah.
because it feels so grand, like life. But like life just happens right now.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, it's all right now. So um makes me a little solemn. You know,
Yeah.
being happy is also a privilege.
100%.
Being happy is knowing that others are not happy.
Yeah.
And not just like by choice, but like others suffer, like suffer in ways that we'll never ever imagine.
Mhm.
Like one thing that Gary is really great on is the 4 trillion,
400 trillion to 1.
400
Yeah.
trillion.
Yep.
The one like that that's I don't know how that number is reached, but I know that like the percentages of people who are afforded like even just the technology we have is still limited.
Yeah.
Like, and people who have it, you know, yes, they have profound tools at their disposal and they can lift themselves up, but they also have limited resources.
Yeah.
And so I don't think about that as often as like it gives me this solemn like, wow, fuck, yes.
Yeah.
And that's where this my smile is like I can actually do something.
Yeah.
And I
You have that opportunity, right? We have the opportunity every day, and some people have better opportunities. That's so funny that you said the 400 trillion to 1 because that was the first video I saw of Gary. Absolutely
mm,
changed my life. I was always a very positive, happy person, but that catapulted me to just fall straight into gratitude every day. Um, and I tell that to everybody. It changed my life for sure. 8 years ago. So, first question under happiness for you: what
yeah,
makes you happy every day?
water.
Okay. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, water. I'm water and air. That's like my
Yes.
two. I just try to modality between those
Yes.
two, because it keeps it the easiest possible. So what I'm really saying is like having ease in the difficult times.
Yeah. That's great, man. That goes that's incredible. Yeah, I love water too. It's incredible, makes me feel good. And touching grass. That's what everybody's been
And
saying
touching
lately,
grass.
touching grass. You got to get outside, inside's great.
Yeah.
It's like 95 degrees right now, but I'm out here and I'm living and I'm
Oh,
loving
that's
it.
great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's great.
Yeah, getting
Um,
sunlight first thing in the morning is like a key chemical thing. It will just like,
yeah.
you know, if you can go Tim Ferriss on things, like find the little, you know what I'm talking about? Like the
Yeah.
little body hacks, the mental
Yeah.
hacks.
Yeah.
The more of those buttons you can push, especially in the first hour you're awake, right? The first half hour you're awake, you could
That's
yeah.
that's cool. What is the happiest moment of your life?
Dude, I think about Christie's. I think about the Christie's auction.
Really?
That was wild. Like, because I was overcome with an emotion I didn't know was there. You know, like I was just trying to do proud of the community. Like, I guess I'm telling you because I know you have a little more context. People are like, Christie's, what's that? I haven't heard about this.
Tell him. Tell him.
Um, the Christie's, even for some, will be the art auction house. It is honestly a legacy I don't know. It's been an art sales house from Europe for 200 years, 250 years. They have this like air of high class, but they're also like the world's largest professional auction house, like Picasso's and Rembrandts and Pollocks and Warhols and designer handbags and I don't know, maybe the Mona Lisa at one point. Like going through these auction houses, they're like they matter in the art world. And so it was a really significant announcement last year in September for V Friends. The artwork, 5 pieces that Gary drew, went to Christie's. And in a serious manner, but also in the flippant nature of Twitter, I was like, hey, everybody in V Friends, here's a wild idea. let's all throw in a little money, see how much we get, make a confident 6-figure bid. Can we get 100 people to do 1,000, 1,000 to do 100? And it was like one of the first tweets that really hit. Like 50 people were like, yeah, I'll help a little bit. And at that time, 0.1 ETH was $300.
Yeah.
So we raised, there were a lot of steps from here to there, but in 2.5 weeks, we put something together, raised money, had, I can say we had more than 100 ETH going into the auction, which at that time was over $300,000. And
Yeah.
we ended up mutually between 285 people in the VFriends community winning the second lot, 93 for the Gratitude Gorilla. Talk about
Oh.
talk about like crown jewel of the entire, not only serendipitous with this moment, but like truly a number one character in VFriends. And the second lot, therefore the first ever auctioned and sold. Like I don't need to go into all the details VFriends related why this is a big deal, but this is a humongous deal. And after we won, I played out the auction. I did like bidding a little bit, but we were only like we said beforehand, because we did all this in a DAO function, so we voted and agreed on everything between us. Like before we had the proportional voting based on what people contributed in ETH, we just did a straw poll vote, just up, down, like this or this way, 3 options, like we built it from the ground up in 2 weeks. So
That's wild.
I it's the happiest moment of my life because it makes me so proud.
Yeah.
It's one of the, it's like feels like such a lasting thing that we accomplished.
Yeah.
And to be very vulnerable with you, my Achilles heel as an artist is finishing things. So to be able to go through that was really special.
Wow. I really appreciate you being vulnerable. I want to say that to you, first of all. And second of all, the way that I feel immediately after hearing that from you, I have 100% confidence that you can do anything that you want. I'm not kidding. I
Thanks,
feel like
man.
truly in my soul, I'm like, anything that Jeremy's going to do, he's going to do it. If he can execute something like that to that magnitude in 2.5 weeks,
I
dude,
didn't do it alone. That's
oh,
the
of
most
course not.
important
Of
piece. I
course
didn't do it
not, for
alone.
sure. But yeah, you were a big part of
I
it.
guess the linchpin of the story that I didn't say is like the DAO decided that I would represent all of us at the auction because I was the content guy and I was doing the recaps and I was there and I sent the tweet, and it was my Discord that all this was happening in. Uh,
That's
so
wild.
so this is all on my Instagram. Like
Yeah,
I live streamed it the whole 9. I stood up there
it's
and I
crazy.
and I had a Christie's rep in my ear and he was telling me the price and I was telling him the bid. It was surreal.
Yeah. Do you ever watch it back?
I've watched it once. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
incredible,
Some
man.
people bring it up to me sometimes. Like,
Wow.
yeah. And you know what's really cool? We haven't put it out yet, but we did at the time. We had like 70 people record their reactions. We told people like, this is really cool. Like record yourself
Yeah.
as it's going on. And you know
Yes.
what else is crazy? Like, fun fact, all of these drawings that Gary's done with VFriends, like the OG drew him himself, Provenance VFriends, they're not the first doodles he's ever done. He's
No.
done lots of doodles. And he took time to do early sketches of characters. So he has a whole set of alpha drawings. And I don't even know how many there are. There's at least 7 or 8 that I've seen.
Oh my gosh.
So I don't know, there could be 100 of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
There was one for the empathy elephant that's a little bit smaller, and instead of the front view, it's a side view, and it's the empathetic elephant. And that sketch was auctioned first before the Gratitude Gorilla, so we bid on it first. It was the only alpha drawing in the lot,
Yeah.
and we bid some maybe $150,000 on the art, and then it was immediately at the book. So there was 2 types of bidding: absentee, where you set your price, or live bidding, where you bid up. Somebody had set an absentee bid for over $320,000. So from 150 to 320,000, mind you, I've never participated in an auction before.
Yeah.
I've never like, and I was aware of what our lower and upper limit was, and I went 200,000, and they were like 210, 220, 200, 210, 220, 230, 240, all the way up. So I ultimately let it go for obvious reasons.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
never know what that reserve price is. I pray one day someone will tell me. But if we were not there, it would have gone for $150,000 cheaper. Like our presence
Wow.
at the auction, for
Yeah.
every $10,000 we bid, it doubled that value that they received on the other side, because Christie's gets a percentage beyond the bid price.
Whoa.
So because there's a 25% fee. So we got the Gratitude Gorilla for $200, and it was a clean 25%, quarter million, 250,000
Wow.
out the door. And now it's safe, tucked away in Delaware in a temperature controlled vault where they keep these high quality art pieces, and we'll be displaying it at some point in the future, at which time I couldn't even wager a guess.
So, does Gary know about this entire story?
I don't think he does.
I can't
Because
imagine. I didn't even know about
I
that.
I don't
I'm
know.
so honest. I had to tell you. I'm literally so fired up right now. It's not even funny. I'm gonna go to your Instagram after this and watch it.
It's
There's
like a
not a
niche
chance.
niche. That's the thing, like, VFriends itself is like niche within a niche within a niche. I'm a V
Yeah,
niche within VFriends, and this is a niche time period within VFriends.
dude.
It's multiple factors down, but it's fully accomplished. It's incorporated in Wyoming. We, like, did it the right way.
It's- I don't even know what to say. I'm literally
It's
so
cool.
yeah. This is
Well,
perfect for
makes
happiness. Like
makes
literally
makes us
so
happy,
happy.
doesn't it?
Yeah, dude. I think that. So, are you gonna post the reaction video, or what's the alpha
Yeah,
on that?
absolutely. Yeah. Well, and this would be great because a lot of people who still listen to my stuff are in the VFam DAO, and um, the admin was just renominated. So we had a process where we nominated and voted on 5 new admins, and most of the same people that have been doing it, but I want to name them both right now, but I'm going to choose not to.
Okay,
And
sweet.
I stepped down, so I'm going to go more auxiliary and focus on media and communications, but not in like an official capacity. I'm going to
Yeah,
continue my communications because specifically because I want to work at VFriends, and so I have to de-risk myself for
yeah,
VFriends a little bit.
of course.
Yeah,
So, have you had a lot of conversations with Andy?
just a couple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think
He
you want to
asked to check
do?
in like, on one occasion, and I saw him at the cafe, and
Uh,
he's so grateful. He's such a big fan, even like
yeah,
he knows I'm a fan of him, and he's a fan of me.
yeah.
Yeah,
Andy's a good dude. What do you want to
yeah.
do for them? Like, what is your
Well,
perfect scenario?
I've had 3 ideas. They're kind of at degrees of giving, right?
Yeah,
Like if it was up to me, like cross all the boundaries, I would get down to the on-site like motion capture, live recording. If I wanted to do something a little more like auxiliary consulting, it'd be like working with their performers to like improve their voice and the direction in their body and the way that they're like I don't know when they're going to get to motion capture, but eventually they will physicalize. I want to be in that part. I want to be on that like AR VR development side, and in the meantime like write sketches, develop these characters that like I'm a storyteller. I'm like trying to remind people like I studied the commedia dell'arte. Like my favorite thing is encounters. It's like if you don't know anything about the commedia dell'arte, like in 60 seconds, it's a Italian Renaissance improv form. Came out in marketplaces, like really bawdy, nasty, silly humor, and like the origin of slapstick goes through all of Europe through the Renaissance, hits the opera, comes over to America, and sort of lays a foundation of archetypal characters that are like old greedy man, lazy servant, guy with an inflated ego who thinks he can do anything, and conniving evil guy, lovers. Lovers are honestly the biggest archetype. But that's what the V friends are. They're
Yeah.
just variables, you know. It's like putting mindsets and perspectives into place. Like empathy elephant can meet reliable rat. Honestly, that duo works really great. But like they can meet again and again on different things. You know, I want to iterate on this. It's just like such a playground. So it's like,
Yeah.
why not?
Yeah, that's incredible.
But
That
I don't think that's where I get my foot in the door. I don't think I've necessarily proven myself to that end.
yeah. I mean, that's pretty crazy. I could see that just being so insane for you.
I know. I'm sorry. I can be really verbose, man. You can step on it anytime.
No, I love it. I literally love it. This is what it's about. I want you to tell me some top communities that you're a part of besides VFriends in the
Great
Web3
question.
space.
My go-to answer for this is Jenkins. Jenkins, the valet. Do you know about Jenkins, right?
I don't know about Jenkins now.
Oh man, I tried to tell people. It's easy to say that now when it's not just that it's gone up in value. It's like it's strong. Um, Jenkins the valet, which I can detail if you want. Boss Beauties is very solid and still quite tight knit. I
Yeah,
think that's a good spot to go. Rue Troop, if you're trying to get a job.
like Root Troop.
Rue
Hmm.
Troop. I haven't really spent a lot of time there, but um, yeah, I've seen their posting and like they look organized. I see them organizing in different places and random people saying like, I'm doing this for the first time, or I finally finished this thing. Like shout out to the Ruse.
Yeah,
So it seems like they're doing a good job. And gosh, there's plenty more really.
Boss Beauties, dude. I'm gonna buy a Boss Beauty probably. My goal is probably within a month. Um, I had the unique opportunity at VCon to go to the women party. It was like five. It was like World of Women, Boss Beauties, Women's of Weapons. I can't remember the fourth one. And there was only 500 people invited, so 100 people per project. And I have Women's of Weapons is the one that I won the raffle.
Nice.
And I talked to Lisa, the CEO of Boss Beauties, for probably an hour, and
Wow.
uh, she's a killer, dude.
Really?
She's a straight killer. She reminds me of Gary. I literally went up to her
Sweet.
and I said to her, I said, listen, I'm going to say this to you, and this is just because I'm so honest, and I want you to take this in the best way. This was like after 30 minutes. I said, you're a boss ass bitch. And she goes, I appreciate that so much because I'm out here being the best CEO and bringing it for my team. And I was like, I'm literally buying one. I told her, I'm buying one. Don't worry. I will buy one because
Wow.
of you. She's like, listen, I don't do good with art, but I'm an executor. And I was like, this is what I want to hear. It was honestly
Mm.
so great for me to have that conversation with her. Like, just founders and having that opportunity, like at VCon and getting that private party was like just mind blowing to me.
Hmm.
It was so sick. So how many do you have one or how many do you have or
Yeah, I have one. It's actually a project I minted and sold and bought back into at a higher price.
okay. I like it.
Um,
Conviction.
yeah, and it's because of Lisa,
Yeah.
specifically because of Lisa. I was pretty comfortable like watching it ride and like just cheering them on because
Yeah.
it was just sort of luck for me. It was actually the first time my brother reached out and he was like, "Hey, can I send you some ETH?" And I was like, "Are you sure? Because like I'm not good at this or
Yeah.
anything. I'm just in it." And he was like, I know. I can lose. I can lose." And I got him Boss Beauties. I minted like 4 Boss Beauties.
Yeah.
So so they held on for a while. I sold them on the way up basically. You know, I
Yeah.
wish I could have sold more at the top, but I sold most of them under 1 ETH and
Oh,
then
it's
I
great.
sold one just above.
Yeah.
And I needed that money. But I always wanted to get back in and they ran off. But now is such a great time because ETH and USD like I think the alpha on Boss Beauties is like they're also very community oriented. Like I see them creating programs. Like you said, Lisa's an operator. She's seeing where stuff is brewing in the community and she's supporting it. She's bringing them along. They're like creating a character with Marvel. They're designing like a custom, some kind of experience or character that's going to get in the MCU, Marvel Cinematic Universe. This is a big deal, not just because I'm a MCU nerd, but because like these movies are watched by tens of millions of people across the globe. So yeah, if you're betting on a brand, they're huge. Lisa,
Yeah, no, for
huge.
sure, man. And I tell that story to people, and people are like, you really told her she was boss ass bitch. And I was like, yeah, man, we were having such an honest conversation, and I'm the max amount of transparent with everybody I meet. So I was just like, it wasn't in a bad way, and she received it so well that it made me even more excited because she doubled down in that moment on like,
Yeah,
wow, I
wow.
see you. She was like, I see you seeing me for this, and this is exactly what I am, an executor. And at that moment, I was like, you're literally, I know the reason Gary supports you. I know the reason you're here, like because this is what you're about.
I think that
Um,
is like such a cool insight that you just shared. Like, because I would never do that. Like, I could never think to like call a woman a bitch to her. I only say the word to show how it sounds coming out of my mouth. This is
of
not a word
course.
I use.
Yeah.
However, you cultivated that space where bitch is just a word. It's bitch,
Yeah.
bitchy, bitch, bitch. You know, it's
Yeah.
like it's different. You communicate it differently. And I think like not only you're special because you created that space, and she's special because she was able to receive it in a
Yeah.
situation where maybe that could be a bridge too far. Like, you don't know me,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. No, of
you
course.
know,
And like, I've developed this way of communicating because I'm so honest, where it's like, it's so genuine that
it's
like,
honestly helpful. It's easier to
yeah.
be honest because
Yeah.
you make no apologies about it, and nor should you.
Yeah, and I would never like, that's the thing is like she didn't even think about it twice because I would never call her that. Like I would never call her in a
Mm.
bad way. And so, I think some people are, it is scary. I'm talking to a CEO, a founder that's very, very
Yeah,
successful,
but you could
but it's
tell
like,
even in just a short time.
yeah, you have this one opportunity. I'm going to tell her like, look, you're a rock basically by saying that to her, what I meant was that you're a rock star. And she took it as, I know I'm a rock star and I'm going to keep executing. And for me, hearing that was like, yes, that's what I wanted to
Yeah.
see. And so yeah, she's going to be around for sure. So I'm glad, I'm glad that you brought that up. Um,
Mm.
Amazing happiness. We're going to move straight into inspiration. Love inspiration. Like I said earlier, you inspire me to keep going, to keep doing content. I've been watching you for a while. It goes back to, how bad do you want it? You have one life. We wake up in the
Yes.
morning, we have the opportunity. The first question under inspiration is, what is a lesson you have had to learn the hard way?
Mm. Um, Nothing too specific comes to mind, actually. I think about Haley most. Like, it's not enough to know your boundary. You have to exercise your boundary, and that's how I could phrase it. Like, yeah, I know where I want my boundaries to be. It's different to exercise them, and in the excitement of everything that happened since May, and how bad do you want it? I gave everything I had for that scholarship. So like, best believe like on a like now in what is this, July 2022, a year after that whole process of minting, meeting this world, I have a bit of a bit of a cadence to what I know content will spread the right information. Like based on how I'm on and be friends, which I kind of consider as like my minimum duty. Nobody's asking me to do this. I'm doing this of
Yeah.
my own free will. Um, and I'm maintaining a bit of a system that I created over the last year, but it's not like that fire in the first month where like I would sit on the couch and I would post something on Instagram that I would immediately look for something else that I could make a piece of content about and post it and tag Gary and tag everyone that and add the hashtags and ask the question and reply to hashtags and stuff. Like the way they're like I still have to go in and like what I'm trying to do more than anything, and you'll appreciate this right now, is like interact with non-VFriends content to like pop the
Yeah.
algorithm to tell it like I need to see more than just this. Like
Yeah.
so I need to do more hashtag stuff. But now I think if like content is forever, but it's a year of DMs. Like
Yeah.
I don't know how much of that DM backlog is archived by Twitter and Instagram, but like I need to go back through it because I've lost people, you know, like people, and so that's a boundary that I let slip just in general of just like when the message came in, I replied. If I got a DM and I saw it, I provided. So then it really reinforced the like compulsive checking the phone habit, which is like something that I had to actively like I charge my phone in other rooms now because otherwise I won't take the space.
Yeah.
I just won't. I won't separate. I won't stretch. I won't meditate. I won't. And and if I don't do the things that are not content related but are like I need to schedule a doctor's appointment. Like this is something I just didn't even think about for 9 months because I was focused on other things.
100%.
So that was hard to learn.
That's no, that's incredible. That's a ton of value for listeners because you have to have that, like you said, put your phone in a different room to charge. Go do your
Mhm.
thing. Have these daily procedures. Like we talked a few episodes, my second episode, I talked to my guy Dan about manifesting and about meditating. And I was like, dude, just pick a time and you meditate 5-10 minutes every day. It's kind of like my gratitude thing. Like I do that every day because that's a practice that I need just as bad as other people, that I share it with. And so
Yeah.
you have to do those things. Or, like you said, like you're going to be going hard for 9 months and other things are going to slip through the cracks. And I've had to learn that. And that's exactly why my V1 that I bought was Balanced Beetle because
Mm.
I'm always searching for balance in my life because I'm 110% or nothing. I don't do anything 50%, but you have to figure out ways to to balance that, right? So when I work my day job, and then I come home, I'm no phone, spend time with the kids go to bed, spend time with my wife, work out for 30 minutes tops, then content, right? And it's like
Wow.
that took me 5 years to learn, to
Wow.
practice, you know what I mean? And so
And you
it's like,
always do the workout there at night?
no,
At
no,
like
no, four, at least 4 days, 4 days.
wow.
But right now, I'm doing 22 push-ups every day, no matter what, for 2022, and
Oh,
that's been
that's
incredible.
great. Oh
Yeah,
my
that
god,
has.
you're gonna end up doing like what?
I
120,000 push-ups?
I need to calculate that because it actually is really nice. It's been a really nice practice because, I grew up playing sports, so I worked out so much. So I don't really like to work out. I just know that I need it. And so since I don't have a lot of time, I bought a heavy bag, and so I go in my garage and I box for like 20 minutes, super hard,
Oh,
and it's literally the best thing. I've been telling everybody. I'm like, "Go
that's
buy a
cool.
heavy bag. It's super cheap, and just start hitting it every night or every other night." And you don't need a ton of time to work out, but your brain needs those endorphins that it
Right.
releases when you work out. So, you
And you
got to
need a
kind of,
flush in your circulation, you know,
yeah,
your heart rate gets up, your breathing gets faster, your blood literally pumps faster, hotter. It gets healed in the way that it cools and it splits and it reproduces itself. Like one of my favorite facts, and I don't know if this is true, but especially as Jeremy knows that's honestly I need to remember that line. One of my favorite facts, but
I
I don't
love
know if
it.
this is true. It's
I love
just
it.
I gotta play the oxymoron. It's about the skin, you know, it's like there's a layer of the epidermis that gets replaced every 7 years. So like literally every surface of your skin on a 7 year cycle is a piece of you that was never there before. It's split and copying the version of itself that it remembers.
Wow.
So you're renewed every 7 years, and there are other timelines, you know, like your stomach lining renews every 3 or 4 hours. You know, um, your body's constantly recreating itself, and it's just very. I find it very profound.
Yeah, that's wild. I hope that it is true. And if it's not true, I'm still gonna write it with you. I'm gonna be right.
It's true. It's true that your skin, like,
Yeah,
yeah, will eventually basically be all new cells that didn't exist before. If it's 7, 10 years.
that's
Your whole
crazy.
your it's they call this the ship of Theseus. Have you heard this? The
Uh-uh.
philosophical quandary?
No.
I think I can simplify it. It's not so complicated. It's the ship of Theseus. So you imagine a ship is made of wood, and
Yeah.
so the ship of Theseus was built in the harbor. All of the wood was taken from the surrounding area. It was crafted over a period of time. It is made wholly of the pieces of wood where it was crafted, and it is called the ship of Theseus. It is the ship of Theseus.
Wow.
Over time, it goes through a long voyage, and so over decades, as things break on the ship, they pull wood from the crew from wherever they are and they repair it. And over such centuries that it has survived, now the ship of Theseus is entirely made of fresh wood. Not a single piece of wood from the original build remains. And so the
Wow.
question is it still the ship of Theseus?
Yeah. Wow.
There's not, there's,
There's a lot of things you could take from that. I mean, just evolving,
yeah,
right?
sure.
You have to kind of like, what I said about being balanced. Like it's something that I've literally had to work on. I probably longer than 5 years, to be honest, since I've been married and with my wife. Like I'm so extreme, but I've had to find, different ways, even in my real life job, like finding, because I'll go hard till 8 p.m. if I have to, but I can't because I have a wife now. Now I have kids. And so I have to be self aware about those different things. So that's cool. That was really cool. I'm glad I'm
Yeah.
going to clip that. It's going to be sick. Um,
Legit
this is
content.
a this yeah this this is a question that I'm really excited to ask you. What do you love so much about Web3 that inspires you
Hmm.
to do it every day?
What is it so much about Web3? Now, see, before I'm answering the question, I'm asking myself, what is Web3? And nobody knows the answer to that
Yeah.
because it's an enigma. Do you know what the word enigma means?
Not like no, not exactly.
This is the second time I've used it today. It's why it came up again because I
Oh,
was telling Haley, I was like, I used the word enigma sort of casually in a sentence today, and I swear I could feel the room not necessarily know what that means. And I don't know if it's a common word or not. And so I reflect on the definition of words, and even if it is common, it could still have a different meaning between two people.
yeah.
I could tell you the definition, but my idea of it is it's like vague.
Mhm.
Like it doesn't mean vague. It sort of means like more powerfully unique.
Yeah.
I learned it from a video game.
What? First of all,
It had nothing to do with your question.
that's okay. Is your fiance's name Haley?
Yes,
My wife's name's Haley. This is fucking crazy.
but how does she spell it?
Halie.
Yeah, I have a I have Haley is Haley is Hayley.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
awesome. That's wild. Second thing, I don't know what I was gonna say, but let's phrase it towards
Well, at least you
NFT,
got the first one.
inspired in the NFT space. Let's just put it that way. We don't know what Web3s. What about NFTs inspires you to keep doing it every day?
I think I have a good answer for this. Is
Okay.
that there are always finders in the communities. So like an NFT project can cause a lot of people to randomly be looking at the same thing. And so they're all sort of occupying the same space. We call it the metaverse. Sometimes it's Twitter threads, sometimes it's Twitter spaces, sometimes it's Discord chats, sometimes it's Zoom calls. It's like all of these things. And there are always finders who can tell when people are totally lost. They're like, how did I get here? This brand or this artist that I like said they're doing an NFT and I needed to be in the Discord or download a wallet. But I'm a little confused. Like, what is the minting? And there are good people out there. So, like, what I'm trying to say is like, so my favorite thing, the thing that keeps me coming back, is number one that there are people who need help. There are like literally so many people who are about to make a mistake if they don't find their squad. Their like community has become so decentralized by so many NFT communities popping up, and even though we can agree that 95 plus 99% of NFT projects will fail and like the tokens won't appreciate and the communities will disband, within communities they want to believe that it's true, like, and even if our community ends up falling apart, we'll all find each other in another way, right? Like
Yeah.
our bond is matched. If VFriends falls apart, we still have our bond. And
Mhm.
so in like physics, you would call that a covalent bond. It's like it's not a hard lock, but we share tension, right? And so I feel like the covalent bonds between all of the people is as finders come in and artists are like, how can I do this? And entrepreneurs and people who are inspiring, it holds everything together in a very special way. And so
Yeah.
like as soon as I come in, I'm like pulled right in. I'm like,
Yeah.
there's a conversation, there's a meme, there's an update, there's whatever.
Yeah. That's cool. No, I agree with you. I agree with you, and I think community and technology, those are great things that inspire me in this space. Community, though, for sure. I mean, the people in this space is crazy, and especially the V Friends community. What is your favorite
Yeah,
inspirational movie?
I'd probably give it to Hook. I'm not really good at favorites, but I gotta give it to Hook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why? Tell me why.
I mean, it honestly, it proves its own case. Like Hook is one of the greatest movies ever made. um I will not make that case. It is not a debate. Look at Robin Williams' face
It's
and
incredible.
tell me it is not the most inspirational movie
It's
ever.
incredible. You know what's so wild is Dan. Dan, the Lost Boy that made V Friends, the V
Yeah,
Friends theme song. So he was my second guest, and he said Hook, and it
nice.
caught me off
Yes.
such a surprise, and then he explained it. It was so incredible, and to have then you also in the V Friends community then say Hook. I saw the poster when we first started. I was like, I think he's probably going to say this. The two movies that everybody has said so far. Well, I guess you and Dan were Hook, and
Yes.
everybody else was Remember the Titans.
Wow.
Everybody else was Remember the Titans. Yeah.
I haven't seen that. I should watch it.
Oh, you should. Yeah.
I don't
It's
think
a
I've
it's
seen it.
a it's a good like football movie, but it's so much more than football.
Yeah.
Honestly, since Dan had told me about Hook, I've seen it, but I want to show my son now. Uh, that'll be a fun moment for me. Uh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's
I
a
mean,
good.
everybody
That's
can
good.
just go back and listen to Dan's description. He probably gives a better answer. But it's just like the I can't believe I even have to say this. The premise of Hook is that it's Peter Pan returning to Wonderland, right? Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Something happens. There's magic involved. It's like it mirrors the original Peter Pan with that wonder, but it has the like groundedness of adult experience as well. So it actually gets better the more you watch it as you get older. And I don't I won't remember his name, but Dustin Hoffman as Captain Hook is to die for. My God.
Incredible. Incredible.
Yeah.
The cast was
That's
incredible.
it. If it needed to be justified, let it be done.
I don't think it does, to be honest. I think you didn't even actually have to say anything. I shouldn't have brought up Dan because you're just so much confidence towards it. Was like, I was already thinking, and I was like,
It's
maybe
okay.
this
You
is.
can clip it back there.
um, all right, so let's roll into let's roll into positivity.
P,
Yeah,
positivity.
P, arguably one of the most, probably the most important word in just our world. I think it needs to be louder. I'm on a mission to make it louder. Um,
You you're succeeding. You're succeeding
Thanks.
so much in that mission.
Thanks, man. I really am. And then, what's funny is after VCon, when Gary had said that on stage, like make positivity louder, it was like it made me even want to go harder. I was like, this is what I was like, I needed this, even though I've already been doing it, and it was cool. So let me
Hmm.
ask you this, because I'm sure everybody has, but have you struggled with negativity in your life?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Can you give me some examples?
Um, Self-criticism, judging before trying, um, body appearances, people staring. It's funny, like each of those things I mentioned, you can imagine them being done in a mean way, but a lot of them are also self-projections, right? So
Yeah.
you have both sides of that coin.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Yeah,
just the truth.
absolutely. What when you're faced with negativity, what are some things you use to block it out? To stiff arm it. I like to say to stiff arm negativity.
Ooh. I'm trying to think about what I actually do because I I feel like I'm positive to a fault sometimes. In to to mean I can be naive, and I've been
Okay.
naive, you know?
Yeah.
Um, or maybe that's
No, that's great. Dude, delusional optimist. That's like the
yes.
best. That's the best statement.
Yeah, it's a careful ground to play on, right?
Yeah.
So, and I think ultimately, like, Gary helped me with this a lot. It's like it's about practicality. 'Cause I don't know if this will surprise anybody. I don't really get angry. Like, I don't ever yell, and it has everything to do with who my father was, and, like, nothing makes me angry. I don't get angry at all. And, and, honestly, it'd be hard for me to do so, but it also means that I don't cry as much as I could have throughout my own life's trauma, like, I hold that within me, and it comes back to positivity and negativity. It doesn't serve me to be focused on how I'm hurt or how I'm lost or how I'm stuck. I want to know how can I keep going.
Yeah.
So what I do is what I did just now is I get defensive and I try to stay calm. I like protect myself to stay positive.
Yeah.
And look, it's not always possible. Like sometimes, like it talk about lessons that you had to learn the hard way. Sometimes you just have to be sad. Sometimes you are sad and you have to let yourself be sad.
Yeah.
Um, and those things can like come up, surprise you, take longer than you want them to. But at the end of the day, like there's an alternative that's worse.
Yeah.
Not even just like the macro, like people around the world are suffering that we mentioned earlier. Like even just for you, I know it can feel so hard, but like there's always an iteration worse. Like there
Yeah.
must be something to hold on to. Otherwise, um, you know, then you dip into desperate, and then then I'm really hoping that people around me notice so they help me. Because
Yeah.
I don't want to be grasping at purpose. Did,
Do you?
did, did that make sense? It's kind of a
Yeah.
tangent.
No. 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 That was great. Do you think that because you kind of said you keep stuff inside? Do you have an outlet that you like? Is your fiance the person that you
She
open up
knows.
about, or do you still keep stuff in? Is that something that you work on, or?
It's something I would like to work more actively on. It's like it's something I have to process over time. Like it's funny. I think this is the second time today I talked about this. Um, no, it was yesterday when the anniversary of my dad's death came up last week. I realized that like I was just at the beginning of the grieving process.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Mhm.
And it doesn't have to be that heavy, and it's hard because like it's like a life event that will eventually come. Like in a grim way. Like your parents hope it comes. They don't want to be the ones to bury you. Like hope you do outlive your parents. Um, but it's like you can just never be prepared for it. So it didn't really hit me hard at that time, and because I was going and be friends, I took a little bit of time, but not really. It was nice to have stuff to work on, and so this is very circuitous, but and I don't even know if you know if my dad died, but like
Yeah, we
I
talked about
love
it a little
him.
bit.
I
Mhm.
love him. He's also an asshole. Like it's not easy for everybody.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
it also could have been worse, and I'm glad that he didn't have
yeah,
to suffer. And because he was so abusive to my mom, like I can't scream or be angry with people, and so I don't know what the alternative of that is. It's just like I don't ever want anybody to fear me. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So I guess I guess what that is in terms of like, and I'm trying to figure this out for myself. Like what I need to process on the flip side of that is like um, answering for people that I'm being imposing. And I think probably a lot of other people struggle with this is like taking up space and making demands. That's where maybe there's a flip side to what is the gear that's hard for me to get into in anger is being demanding, but
okay.
not entitled, but demanding, like conviction. hard conviction is probably the thing that tears at me, because I told you it's hard for me to finish things. I've left a lot of projects undone, a lot of like things in my life, but I can't regret those things because they all got me here.
Yeah.
And see, like, I can always come back around. So for me, I'm like, my hardest thing as an artist, I'm just trying to stay on task, dude. Like, I have so many distractions in my mind and in front of me. I'm on a rant with you, emotional at midnight because I love you, and I think you presented this as like, we need to talk about more people. Like,
Yeah.
I'm trying to share my mental turmoil, developing my own system for being myself. I'm like, shit,
Yeah.
I'm trying to share as much as I possibly can because I know I'm not the only one who thinks about these things. I just maybe a little more neurotic than some people.
Yeah. No. I agree with that 100%. And I think like a lot of things like I talked about in my last episode with my best friend who his sister died and he went through some pretty serious depression and he was afraid to see a therapist for a while. And because
Mm.
I think the stigma around therapy is bad. And I think that we need to that needs to shift, just like making positivity louder. Like it needs to be okay to go see a therapist. It actually needs to be incredible to go see a therapist because you are wanting to make your life better. And so the fact that you're even going to do that step, like, is incredible. The fact that you would even talk about your dad on this podcast is incredible, right? And so, like, to have people around you that double down on you when you share things like that, those are the type of people that like I want in my life and I want to be in people's life. Is like, look, if you're going to be comfortable enough to share this with me, I am already proud of you and I'm going to be here for you no matter what, because it's incredible that you're sharing that, because some people don't feel safe to share that to a lot of people.
Yeah, it makes me really appreciate you.
Thanks.
I,
Thank
I,
you.
I really do.
Thank you. Thank
Um,
you.
there's 100 things I could say, but that's
it's,
all.
it's been great. No, it's been great. And we'll finish positivity with what are the positive benefits, sorry, to NFTs in your mind? There's a
mm,
lot. There's a lot, but give me a few.
so what to say about this little bit? NFTs, NFTs. Let me tell you, friends, about the NFTs. What the hell is NFTs?
Honest,
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
this is it. This is it right here. This is the positive benefit. You guys
That's
got to
the stuff.
hear Jeremyknows fucking doing a sound bit. That's
I think
incredible.
there's a good jingle there.
That was good. That really was good. But
What's it like, a little swing maybe. Um, I think the reason I sang is because the word that comes to mind is instrument. Like, NFTs are a medium. NFTs are an instrument for participating in something. That
yeah,
something can be gambling on things that you don't understand. That something can be investing
yeah.
in air quotes
Also in things
um,
you don't understand.
in things you don't understand. Even if you do understand it, it can be like joining a club, right?
Yeah,
Um,
community, man.
but the thing that is really digging out the community, creating a canal for all of this to happen is, well, there's more than one thing, but a big piece of it is like connecting people, decentralizing community, making the digital space more meaningful through shared association.
Yeah,
Like, we talk about the PFP phenomenon, right? So for 8 to 12 months, the NFT world was crazy about making every combination of adjective, animal, and place to copy the Bored Ape Yacht Club and try to ride a moonshot. And yet, there, for a considerable portion of them, there were real teams and people with ideas, and they're like, "Yeah, we'll make a whole community around this thing."
hmm.
I bring that up because um, that created a lot of segments of the community. And then you have shared ties between all the community. And when I see someone with a VFriends PFP, it's like seeing someone with my team jersey. I can
Yeah.
recognize myself in you. I make an assumption that you believe kindness is a superpower and positivity should be louder and you're grateful for something, you're hardworking. And it only takes one good idea to be a friend.
Yeah.
Like talk about throwback to simplicity. I love this phrase is like you only need one good reason.
Yep.
And that PFP became the one good reason for us to be friends. So many connections started being made. So help me come back to the question because we're talking about
The,
happiness still, right?
no, this is
Or
positivity, but
positivity.
that all of that you just said is positive benefits of Web3 and NFTs. Like
Yeah, that
bridging,
belonging
yeah.
is huge.
hmm No, and it's like I say this almost every episode is like the people that I've met and connected with in person. Like I literally feel like we're gonna be friends for the rest of my life, and I've never been able to say that. Even I played college
Mhm,
football, and I don't talk to anybody from my college football team. So it's like those
mhm.
people I bled with, and it's like I meet people
Wow,
from Web3 and NFTs, and it's like a totally, I can confidently say like there's at least probably 10 to 15 people that I genuinely think like I'm gonna be friends with for the rest of my life.
that's a lot. I
Yeah,
feel the same way. I feel like my responsibility in that is yes, checking on my friends, but also just staying plugged in.
yeah,
Like, I think the way that I might lose literally a bunch of people I know, I could say dozens even, is like if they unplug and I don't know how to find them, right? If they stop
yeah,
checking in, if I don't see them, you know.
yeah.
But
I started
like,
getting people's phone numbers, dude,
and
when I
that's
was in New
where real
York.
life yep, exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
that was a big deal to me because people were
And
like Discord calling me, and I'm like, this can't be a thing. I can't be answering
right,
a
it's not
Discord call. You just got to
sustainable.
give me your number, man. I'm not gonna find. Don't worry, I love you. It doesn't matter. Just give me the
Yeah,
number. I'm not gonna share it with anybody.
yeah,
So
yeah.
that
Isn't
was
it
cool.
weird, like, our in terms of, like, communication, the phone number is so much more solemn than, like, you know, share a Twitter handle or an Instagram, no problem, but my phone number? Oh my.
Yeah. No, to be honest, I'm super grateful that every single person I've hit up for the podcast, because I've scheduled out about a month now, has been super cool with doing video.
Mm,
Because like one of my biggest things is that I think people should be doxxed, and I think that that I want it to be safe. And
yeah,
so I've been grateful that people have been receptive of that. I've just been like, yeah, for sure. Like some people that have never showed their face that are like coming on the podcast that is just going to be incredible. Like I'm like psyched about it. I found out one of the guys that I'm having on next week is a professional soccer player. Like I was like, what the
nice,
fuck? I was like, this is crazy. I've been
nice.
trading with him for I don't know 6 months. He's an incredible dude, and it was just wild. So I'm like excited about those things, like cracking people that are Web3 are native that are like these other people obviously, and now they get to show their face, so I'm pumped about that. And this is
Mhm,
perfect to segue to enthusiasm, maybe my favorite word. I'm an
that
enthusiastic
makes
guy.
sense.
uh I wake up pumped every day to be alive, and it really, I just keep wanting to pound the one life thing. Just like Gary said, 400 trillion to one. We have one opportunity. I'm not going to regret shit. I'm going to go for it. And if I suck at it, that's fine. At least I can say I went for it. So, this is one of my favorite questions to ask in the show. What are 3 things right now in your life that you can't get enough of?
Ooh, that's a great question, honestly. I'm such a simple person, like, I'm like, "Water." Like, I literally just had a sip of water. No, but 3 things I can't get enough of. Mm, card breaks, box breaks, like seeing the
Yes,
chase
yep, yep,
card,
yep.
checking all these VFriends
Yeah.
cards. That's number 1.
For all the listeners that aren't in the VFriends community, that's Uno or the special VFriends cards we get from when we minted VF2. All right,
Yeah,
continue.
they just created a war style game. Um, um, what am I doing on a daily basis? Um, my mind just went so blank. I guess I don't need too much throughout the day. I guess I can't get enough Twitter engagement. Like, I literally
That's
honestly,
good.
if I had
That's good.
just said that quickly, it would have been a great line, like
I honestly love the slow delivery. When I clip it, I might slow it down even more. I might go slow-mo.
yeah, 'cause, if we're being honest, the thing that I literally can't get enough of is Twitter engagement.
Yeah.
It's actually amazing, total sidebar, and I'll think of a third thing, is someone showed me how to check my Twitter analytics for the first time, like,
Yeah.
a couple weeks ago.
Uh-huh.
And I was really shocked. Like there's been a year, there's been 16 million impressions through my Twitter account, which I strictly started to talk about VFriends.
Yeah.
So it was 1.6 million profile visits in that year.
Wow.
And I was like, what? Because I have 20 some thousand followers. I mean, that does also mean that 1.59 million people came and decided not to follow, but I'm not going to think about it that way. Um,
Oh,
uh,
shit.
but so now I have it. It's a tab on my desktop, and it's my Twitter engagement looks exactly like the market. It's down 60-70%.
Really?
Like my tweets are consistent, my followers are still like slowly climbing,
Mhm.
but the engagement, like it's literally already, it's so funny.
Do you
Like
think, people are just less participation in the market, or
I
what do you
think,
think?
yeah, I think tens of thousands of people left. Well,
Yeah.
maybe,
Just took a
yeah,
break, maybe?
maybe just 10,000 people left, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
No, but like, what do they think? There's like maybe 250,000 people. I know there's like over a million active wallets, but like, I think we're
I would say probably still honestly participating 4 to 500,000. I think that's
okay. So it's
totally
higher now.
yeah. I think that's totally reasonable. I don't know if those are all, like, participating every day, but I would say on a
Right.
weekly basis, you know what I mean?
On a weekly basis, 500,000. I think that's cool. I think that's like probably yeah, I think it's right on.
Yeah.
I forgot why we brought that up.
That's okay, but I think that the push, honestly, like in a time like this, like one of my goals is by the end of August, one of my goals is to have 1,000 people on push notifications, because
Ooh,
I think that like dude, literally, like one of my so my
that's
gratitude
so
video this
great.
morning, it got like I don't know, like I don't know, 30 likes or something, which is totally just great. I posted a photo of me and my wife and one of my sons, and it got like 75 likes in like 30 minutes. I was like, this is fucking crazy. Like, that's cool. I love posting my family. You know what I mean? I love
Yeah,
it. But it's like,
wow.
if you if you can get people like one of these this dudes I look up to, one of my really good friends, his name's Joey Moose. He is really big on that, getting people on his notifications. And I think
Mm,
that that's a really big deal, man, because if you're putting out good content,
you're totally right.
the more people that are on push notifications, then like because there's so much, right? Like you said, like you don't see every one of my videos, and like I have you on push notifications because I want to see, like I need to see all your shit because I can't be in the Discord, I can't be doing
Yeah,
that, and so like I don't want to miss one of your posts because that's my way to like do VFriend stuff because I don't have a ton of time. And so like if you don't have those people on push notifications, you miss like it's just an absurd amount of stuff
yeah.
every day, right? And
I
so I
I
think that's the
totally
key.
I at times I've said, turn on notifications. Like during VCon, I was like, that's a good time because I'll try to
Mhm,
share. But there's so many random times where I'll go and I'll answer like 25 tweets and I'll just
mhm.
leave an emoji or say like that sounds great or like leave in the answer to the question.
Yeah,
That I feel bad for people. I'm like flooding them with
yeah, I could
hearts and
see that.
handshakes.
Yeah, I comment on every one of my people that have comment back to
Yeah,
me.
because I'm
So yeah,
commenting back. So
yeah,
but
I
that's what
think
I'm trying to figure out. I mean, that's what my NFT project is, right? Like,
yeah.
I, I, I honestly, I don't have a pitch deck to be like, let's talk about my project. Confetti, confetti. It's like, I'm trying to keep it much more casual and simple than that.
Yeah.
But it is a text message alert service.
Yeah, that's incredible
Yeah,
for sure.
it's been a little harder to build than I anticipated, but I also anticipated that.
Yeah. No, that's good. I mean, you'll get there for sure. You'll keep working hard.
Yeah, because push notifications is like, especially when you can start to curate for what people need.
Yeah.
That's what I'm really excited about. Like, I'm a
Yeah.
Snoopy guy. Like, I'll go and check it out. And like, I want to know, like,
Yeah.
my number one podcast fan. I don't know, maybe somebody listens to the podcast more, but he tells me about it the most. His name's J Dev, and he's just a really nice guy. He listened to the podcast when there were like 10 episodes, and he
Yeah.
listens to every single one. And I
Yeah.
happen to know that, but I also know he's a big soccer fan. And like, if something happens in the soccer realm, maybe NFT related, maybe Ronaldo makes an NFT or something, like, and that can go straight to him and other people who are interested in it. That's that's kind of the thoughtfulness that Gary Vee has outlined through his media, and that's what I'm trying to systemize for my own VFriends Web3 platform
Hmm.
in my community,
Yeah.
not just our community, but my
Yeah.
community.
No, and I think like one of the things that I'm gonna do, I've been working on how to structure it is I want to I'm going to give away one of my VF2s. It's a sharing squirrel in the collector's
Mm.
corner.
Oh,
And yeah, it's pretty
great one.
sick. And
That's a nice one.
I think I got it because, growing up I wasn't the best at sharing. So I want to run a giveaway where I emphasize post notifications, bringing someone that's not doesn't have maybe doesn't have a VF2. I just got to figure out how to structure it, but I'm really going to make a push for push notifications coming up. And
Yeah, I know I
I've
want.
wanted to.
I didn't mean to deter you, and I know I won't.
No,
That's it. It makes so much sense because, yeah, when engagement is low, more effort is required,
100%. Yeah, 100%.
and and engage with the disengagement too.
Yeah,
Like
100%.
that person that like disappeared from your feed is probably in your followers thing, and you can be the spark. You can be the
100%.
movement. And
Yeah.
honestly, that's a way bigger concept that people need beyond anything that matters in content or social media or branding. It's like there's movements that have to be made.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, and one of I would consider him a dear friend. My guy Francisco, he's in the V Friends community, but he definitely has me on post notifications. He would comment on everything, reshare everything.
Mhm.
We hung out at VCon a ton. One of my guys, we had talked a lot in DMs before that, and he had not been around a lot like the past couple of weeks, and so I just DM'd him. I was like, "Yo, how you doing?" Like we connected. He's
Yeah.
just super busy, just checking in on
And
that.
everything's
Like,
fine. But
yeah,
yes,
yeah, like you like said, J
JDev.
yeah, JDev, like just checking in, that
Mhm.
that like it's not really customer service because you're not really I mean, I guess in my mind it is customer service, like just checking on people. And then they're also your friends. Like that is
Yeah.
appreciated. And I love to tell people to just tell everybody that you appreciate them in a certain personal way. It goes
Yeah.
such a long way, especially when it's genuine. Appreciation is so underestimated. It's not even funny. But like even telling you, you know what I mean? Like I appreciate your posts and stuff because it's like, I genuinely do, right? So it's like
Puts a smile on my face.
100%.
Love it.
Yeah. All right. What is your third thing? I'm not letting you get away.
Checking on my friends.
Let's fucking
Can't get
go.
enough of it.
Let's
Checking
go.
on my friends. Look, here's the mantra. In a builder's market, check on your friends more than you check floor prices.
100%. 100%.
Legitimately, this is like if all the degens could adopt this overnight and literally check on someone they know and reach out, send a text message or a phone call every time they check the floor of whatever project they're watching. um, we would get a lot more people into the NFT space. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
No, that's
check your
incredible.
friends.
That literally is so true, man. That is so true. That's so incredible. What this I don't know if this might be the same answer as earlier, but what has been your biggest accomplishment in your life?
Legit, it's moving to New York to be with Haley.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Tell
there's
me about it. Tell me
I
about it. I want to hear about it.
it's a good story. I mean, I just have never been so certain about anything in my life. And
Yeah.
I guess I was 28. I was 28 and I was working at Queen Mary's Dark Harbor, which is, are you familiar with like Halloween Horror Nights or these pop-up
Oh, okay,
Fair
like
enough.
haunted houses or
Like,
some shit, or
not Scary Farm,
oh,
maybe,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Kinda like haunted houses, but like a theme park haunted house. So they'll
Okay.
hire actors to play monsters, and I did that for many seasons.
Yeah.
So I was doing that in October, and I took a weekend off to come to New York and work for an artist that I was working with here making a documentary. And so she and I decided to get dinner on my last night here. My job was done, and she had just finished a workshop series um, as a student.
How did you know her?
I met her 10 years prior in college at
Yes.
UC Irvine. We
100%.
we met each other my first, not my first day, but my first week. We were on the same improv team together my first quarter. We interacted. We worked on shows together. We've known each other well, but we were in different circles because I was in the undergraduate division and she was in the graduate division. And um, we fell in love that night. We just
Yeah.
totally fell in love. Like it wasn't a date until it was, and then I had to fly back to California the next day. So obviously I did that, but within another day, we were sending audio messages back and forth on WhatsApp. We were like literally having an ongoing conversation throughout the whole day for a week, and by the second week, I had a one-way flight back to New York. I just, um, I just knew, and I guess it was an accomplishment to make the decision and trust in what I didn't know,
Yeah.
because that was ultimately like kind of the linchpin for everything. It's like I know what I know right now, and I don't know what comes next,
Yeah.
but like we can get through it all.
Yeah. Let's go. I love it, man. Growth
Yeah.
growth comes when you step outside your comfort zone.
Yeah, look,
Like,
and 3 years later, we're getting married this year.
yeah.
We're 100 days out from getting married.
100 days. What's the date?
Yeah, October 15th.
That's wild. One of my son's birthdays is October 9th.
Wow.
That's fucking dope. That's so cool, man. In New York or
In Tustin, California. Like,
Tustin? Is that what you said?
yeah,
Where's that at?
it's Orange County.
Yeah, don't worry, I'm not showing up. Maybe I'll
Yeah.
make a drop by. I don't know. You know what I mean? I'll just swing by.
You
But no,
saw that happen, right? It came out of my mouth. I was like, I could have just said California,
I'm
but like,
sorry. Yeah.
no, I don't. Well, it's. I wish I could invite, like, I wish I could have just a whole
Of
Be Friends
course.
wedding,
Yeah.
just teleport everyone to the same place and have a
Yeah.
big party. But it's going to be a little smaller than that.
That'll be cool, man. That's
Maybe,
awesome.
maybe while I'm in California, there can be a post celebration, or no, a pre celebration.
That'll be cool. That's
Yeah,
exciting. Wow.
because what part of
I'm in
California?
Vegas. No, I'm in Vegas.
You're in Vegas.
Yeah, it's just
What part of California is that?
yeah, it's actually the southeast, I guess. Yeah.
Southeast.
No, yeah, yeah.
Okay. I love Vegas. I don't get there very often, but I had a
Yeah,
good time while I was there.
I don't love it, but it's okay.
You
Because I
don't
live my
love it, but
life.
you live there? Wow.
Yeah, I'm planning on moving
That's
to
awesome.
probably to Utah.
Oh,
So yeah, I'm just really looking for like, honestly, like I don't dislike Vegas that much. I mean, I've been here for
sure.
fucking 26 years, but this schooling system is really bad here. We have really bad. We're like 50th in the nation for
Ooh,
education. For the past since I was in high school, so
damn it. Education
12.
is so fucked everywhere.
Oh yeah, dude. But it's like if I can go to Utah and I have a bunch of people I know there that have kids in school that tell me how great it is. Like you almost never hear about a parent in Vegas saying how good their school is. Pretty much never. It's always a
Right.
problem. And the sad thing is you don't blame the teachers because it's so bad. Like that they can't do much and they don't have
Sure.
motivation. And so it's
Honestly,
just
thank you for doing that. As a teacher to a parent, thank you for doing that.
yeah.
Because
It's just it's just bad all around and no one's helping anybody. And it's just like, of course I want to stay here. My family's here, but like I have to do what's best for my kids. And so I'm really excited. We were gonna move probably by the end of this year, but just with what's going on with like the recession maybe and stuff is like I gotta be 100% ready. So we're working towards it. I'm super
yeah,
excited. But
yeah.
I don't
When you've done
Vegas isn't as
26 years, you're not in a rush at this point.
yeah, no, no, no. Yeah. So, what has been your most exciting moment in Web3?
I feel like some of these questions are the same.
Oh, I think that you've already answered some of them, but I wanted to ask you to get a little bit different of an answer.
Exciting.
You've kind of answered a lot of them before that I've asked them, which is kind of fucked, but I love
You're
it. But I
you're
love it.
welcome.
Yeah, but I love it. There's
You
nothing
know,
bad. This is
I
incredible.
I don't know what it says about me that, like, my memory recall is very good for random idioms and factoids,
Yeah,
but for, like, my own life and memories, it's, like, much more of a C.
yeah,
Uh, it was exciting to hell, man, it was exciting to mint. Um, it's it's exciting to it's exciting to do what I want on a daily basis. It's like
yeah. Let's
it's not that I'm
go.
not taking any risk. I'm like sometimes I'm like lost at sea, but you just keep swimming, just keep swimming, just keep
Yeah.
swimming.
No, I think that is exciting, dude. You're getting after it and you're going for it. So that's an exciting thing. It's scary, but it's very exciting.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I don't know. I think it's a superpower. I'm like thinking about my whole life now. I One of the things I recognized at the start of the pandemic was that I was used to not knowing where my paycheck was coming from, so I wasn't freaked out in the way that so many people were, and I was able to kind of navigate that way because in addition to being a performer and all those things, I've built a lot of props and puppets, and I've done some scene painting, and I've built lumber sets, flats, things, constructed. Um, I'm like also an Eagle Scout, so I have some of like those basic common sense stuffs, and I was able to work with that. I was able to do moving jobs and mount TVs and do home repair, handyman stuff at least during the pandemic. But like it all rested on this. I think I from an outside view, it would probably seem that I'm delusional with the way that I jump from these different streams of income
Mhm.
and sometimes leap of faith, right? Like, let's be honest, most of NFT trading is dumb luck until you lose some $10,000. Um, and I was being generous there. Um, but what I mean is, like, I'm very grateful to, and this is the answer to your question. What has been so exciting in Web3? It's being part of something that turns into a meme and then getting to watch people just roll over about how great this meme is for 72 hours.
Yep. Yep.
I was lucky enough to contribute to the Constitution DAO. Did you catch this?
Uh-uh.
I don't know when, must have been in the fall last year. There was a Constitution DAO. There was a one page of the American Constitution was being auctioned at Sotheby's. And they started a DAO to the same way we did for the Christie's auction.
Yeah.
Community source the funds to win this auction.
Holy shit.
They went wild. I'm going to get these numbers wrong. I don't really know, but I want to say in the range of like $4 million or something, maybe $40 million. I think maybe I
Those are
want to say
crazy. It was
something
crazy.
something like $47 million was the closing price, and they didn't win it.
Oh my.
And all of these people, like me, I wasn't expecting anything in return. I just like it was even one of my last point 0.1 ETH. It was at that time where like you'd put point 0.1 here or there and just kind of see what happens. Research the project as it goes up and down.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
And having lost on a couple of those, I was like, well, this is actually just a really good thing. I'll give it point 0.1.
Yeah.
Thank God I did, because although they lost the auction, it became a meme to make the coin itself more valuable than the person who won it. So
Oh
this is
my.
like really funny. What you gave ETH and you got back a people governance token that like operates like what they would have done with the constitution.
Yeah.
And so people started buying it. People started buying it. Whales added liquidity to it. I don't know what it started at fractions and fractions, and it got up to like 17 cents, and suddenly my $200 was $22,000. And I was like, "Oh dear God, it happened." And I just, as quickly as I could, I took it back.
So you took that. You took
Like
that
like, as soon
$22,000.
as I saw it, I was like, "Wait a minute. I have this. What is this? Are you telling me, is this for real? How much do
Yeah.
I have? Oh my God, it's how much?" And volatility. I sold it like 12 cents or something, after it
Incredible.
peaked, and it paid for months, paid for like
Yeah.
3 months probably. So I'm open to those blessings. I'm lucky to find them. I have some angels that look out for me.
Yeah.
I expect one to be right around the corner because the wedding bills are coming due. Um,
Oh,
expecting
shit.
one, but no expectations.
Yeah.
You know, it's the danger of being who I am. But I have insurance policies. I have backup plans.
Yeah. Weddings are intense. Weddings are
I
expensive for
bet.
sure. Yeah,
I
man.
bet.
You got
I
it.
I
That's
have
wild.
everything. I have everything in order except for my suit. Really, I
That's
even
easy.
like I
It's
wrote some
easy.
of my vows. I like as I told you, it's like the most certain thing I've ever done.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so
I literally
amazing.
dude, I wrote my vows and I like like 3 words in, I was bawling. I was literally just fucking bawling my eyes out. Yeah, dude. It was
Yeah,
my story is pretty crazy too, like kind of like yours, but
I bet. Well, you'll
yeah,
have to tell me on my own podcast someday.
for sure. 100%. I'm down.
That's
I'm
a good
down.
line
I'm glad
saver.
that you found the answer. So it's funny about that what you kind of do, and I think this kind of goes to your like theater background is like I'm asking probably questions that you haven't thought about before, and so you kind of talk your way into your own answer, which is really honestly interesting and I think great for people because they're not easy questions. I'm doing my best to ask hard questions, like the happiest moment of your life. Like a lot of people don't think about that on a regular basis. And
No.
that's kind of what I want. I want the people that come on the podcast to think about their life in ways that maybe they haven't thought about it in a while that could ultimately shift their mind to a winning streak, shift their mind to gratitude, the things that
Mhm.
I really on a mission to do. Um, and so it's cool that you were at first were like, I think I've answered this before. And then you found an answer by talking about it that was honestly even better than the answers before. So it was great. Um,
Thanks.
last word is for D, dreams. This is
Dream.
huge. This is huge, dude. Dreams are incredible. I am a big dreamer. I advocate for dreams. I tell everyone to dream big. Goals are
Mm,
great, but dreams are better. And I have dreams that I've
I
written
like
down
that.
that I read every day that are crazy. I like to tell people about my dreams because I think putting your dreams into the universe is good. Um, what is the dream that you have for your life?
I
Do you want me to read my dream that I have for my life first, and then
Okay,
you can answer? Would that
sure.
help you?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So, gentle tornado. So, I am an honest, enthusiastic, and successful man that will inspire others to live their life through happiness. And that's my dream every day. That's my dream for my life.
That's so clean and simple.
I worked on it for a while, so
I could tell. You're working on it still.
thanks,
That makes me want mine to sound like a mission statement.
dude. It can.
Yeah, well,
This is the first time I've asked this. So you're the first one. So I'm pumped.
I'm gonna take your format a little bit. I'll try to answer it on the fly. I would say like I'm a joyful wind that wants to father and educate the masses.
Print it, put it on the wall,
Is that a
read
good
that shit. That was incredible.
cut print?
That was good. That really was good. I'm not gonna lie to you. That might have been a one taker. A joyful wind. Fuck. That was good.
I
I
told
feel like
you
you
it's
were
all
like,
about
that was
air,
incredible, dude. That was
water and
incredible.
air. You know,
Um, what are you gonna
go,
say?
go ahead.
No, no, no.
I'll
No, you go.
I'll derail you a bit. Would that help you if I derail you a bit?
You
um,
go.
uh, there are more tools at people's disposals than they really realize, and I think what's really helped me is identifying the tools that I like to use, and what I mean are mental frameworks.
Mhm.
So when I'm stuck creatively, content wise, even if I'm like considering what to say, more and more I found myself writing out more tweets that I don't send. I don't really like that, but on the flip side, I have to recognize that people are projecting influence onto what I'm saying. They might think I represent more than just myself when I'm speaking, and I'm working to like control my image in that way.
Yeah.
Um, so when I start to judge how I'm about to speak or how I'm about to act at all, I really like to turn to the opposite. Sometimes it's just like the black or the white, the hot or the cold, the summer or the winter. Like, am I coming on hot on this reply? Am I coming on cold?
Mhm.
And, we could talk about the spectrum. We can talk about the both. Um, One of the frameworks I use a lot now is the elements: fire, water, wind, earth. And water and wind are like going back to like the whole broadness of the conversation. Earth is easy for me. I just love it. But the way I behave is all wind and air. I have wind and water. And like I told you, it's hard for me to go fire, even though I'm like a fire sign. And I don't really care too much about astrology. And I don't know what people or you imagine when I say go, wind, water, or fire. And like, how can you make a decision as wind or water? It's kind of abstract, but
Mhm.
it doesn't matter if what I think of it is what you think of it. It's just how it changes your mind so that you can behave differently. And
Yeah.
there's so many of these um, that I like, that it
Yeah.
just like add as little, like kind of like a musical score. You add little accents, crescendos, and stuff.
No, I love it. I love it. And I think the one of the most important things you said there was it doesn't matter what other people think. It's if it helps you, right? Like if it's
Yeah.
for you, right? It's the same thing. My name is Gentle Tornado because I went to a very, very important leadership course that I'm very heavily involved in. And
Mm,
one of the leadership courses was called Eagle Quest. And in the course, you become a warrior and you come up with a warrior name. And so the first word is something you aspire to be, and the second word is something you've always been. And so, my great grandparents called me Tornado, and that was my name, my childhood nickname for my whole life because I was so fucking crazy, so energetic, so get after it. And I've always wanted to be more gentle, because of that reason, because of that contrast of I'm 110%. And so it's like now it's cool because like, I am that anyways. Like I live that every day, right? My dream that I have for my life, but now people can see it, right? And now I tell
mm,
people like what you're saying about wind and water, like that was like so cool for me because I'm like, yeah, I'm thinking the same thing. I'm like, I
yeah.
love that. My
Tornado.
interpretation is like water, that's my fuel. Wind, that's how I flow through the universe. I'm a firm believer in the universe has my back. And so like
Yes.
religious or not, like, God has my back, the universe has my back, whatever way you want to think about it, right? Is like it's so abundance, right? Like what Gary says, abundance, it's out there. Like,
Hmm.
how you flow and what you do and how you give is going to 10x come back. And
I love all the vocabulary. Like, I think the flow is really important. I think when you talked about air, you were like how you float. Like I mentioned ease. Like all these things really matter. And the thing that I know you understand that is a little metaphysical, but you can feel it, is when your mind is on this frequency, it inherently changes your body
yeah,
to a frequency that matches the frequency around you, that changes the literal way that you like. You can literally change how things happen in some ways just by how you'll respond, right? Like, I'm not saying you'll create a house that wasn't there, but like, just like the timing of all this is very peculiar, and that's why you find that good things happen to good people. And I know there are tragedies every day, but like,
of course.
literally, I believe that there is something to you find what you're looking for.
100%. I
So
love that.
that's what I
I
mean.
love that. All right. So now this is something that I've doubled down on. Me Oh, you know what? I'm going to read a quote about dreams first, and then we're going to move on
Great.
to this. So it says, if you want something you never had, you have to do something you've never done.
Mm,
So I love that because like you were kind of talking about moving to New York. Like I said, like get out of your comfort zone because that's where growth happens. Do what you've never done before, and you're gonna make it. Um, in some type of way. And so then ending dreams and moving on, me and my wife have really, really, really been focused on living in the now, living 100% present in the situation, right? So we had been wanting to move to Utah for a while and we had planned to move to Utah, but then, kind of shit's kind of crazy right now. So we're like, well, we'll wait, we'll be 100% in a year, but we're not going to plan, we're going to live right now and we're going to live for the
mm.
relationships we have right now and the times with our kids and their friends. When I talk about that, how do you feel about that? Is that something you work on every day? Is that something you already do?
In terms of just being in the moment,
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah, I want to say I think about it constantly, and to some degree, that's true. Like, um, the pause can be sustained as long as like we give it attention, right?
Yeah.
Like that was a moment of now.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. It- When you say that, living in the now, what kind of feeling does that mean for you? Like, because a moment can be so long, and I don't have any I don't have any idea to sort of it, it's hard for me to not be very present until I like totally just lose sight of where I'm at. That didn't make any sense. Excuse me. I heard it come out of my mouth and I'm like,
This is what I'll say. This is what I can relate it to you is our conversation in New York. Before I got to the bar, I
hmm,
told my wife that I was going to the bar with my two really, she knew who those people were I was with. I called her, made sure because I knew that the second I got there, I was going to be 110% focused on whatever conversation we were having. And then
I see.
you showed up. And then it was even like 200% focused. One, because I'd never met you. Two, because the conversation we had was incredible, incredibly thoughtful for all of us, incredibly valuable for all of us.
Yeah.
Um, and so that's kind of what I mean by living in the moment is like
Like
harnessing.
squeezing the orange for everything it is,
Yes,
basically.
yes.
And how did you phrase the question? How do you do it?
Yeah. Is
How
that
do you
something
relate to
you
it?
do already, or is that something you want to work on?
Yes. Yes and yes.
Hmm.
It's I guess it confuses me. I'm doing as much as I can in general. So I have to forgive myself for a lot of things I don't get to do.
Uh-huh.
So I think maybe the question of being more present for me is actually being a little more forward thinking or anticipating what
Yeah.
I will need in the future because I'm pretty right on. I mean, I think you feel that, right?
Yeah.
Like if somebody sneezes in a space, like I'll say bless you. Like
Yeah.
um now I'll be a devil's advocate to myself. Um where I need to work on it is in routines, and really making not etching them in stone, but having them concrete, to
Yeah.
really confuse a metaphor, just to like consistent, know know your routines is a good thing. It keeps you on track,
Yeah.
but it also can make, I'll speak for myself, it can make me um, maybe complacent with what I
Yeah.
have, right? And that's what you've been such a great reminder of. It's just like the gratitude for the little things. So when I think about it, it's really more. I think about Haley. I think about like I talked about distraction with the phone. Like we have a system where yeah, this is something that we do to work on it. Actually, we have a system where we have green, yellow, red light. So if one of us is on our devices and we need their attention, we'll ask green light and then we'll return with green light meaning, yes, I'll set my phone down right now. You have my full attention. Green is like really go. Everything else, red is nope. I receive that, return an answer. I'm present here. Yellow is I'm about to make the shift. I'm still digital. I need to finish this thought, but a minute, 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So that's helped a little
Yeah.
bit. Like, I guess I'm sorry this has been such a confusing question for me. The reason it is because now being present is confused with also being digitally present for me.
Okay.
And so like it's not just a reading and participation thing because then you have the commercial dynamics of the app. It's trying to encourage you to stay on. It's showing you things that you'll like,
Yeah.
and you get distracted
I
from
think I
conscious
think
consumption.
to say to what you just said, I think the important thing about being present when you're as far as digitally goes is like, right, we both have said on this that we both comment back at least as much as we can to every single person.
Yeah,
So my mind goes to kind of how Gary talks. Like when you're in a meeting, you're in that meeting for, let's say, 7 minutes, you're in that meeting for 7 minutes, right? So if you log on
yeah,
to Twitter and you got, let's say, 20 minutes, you're commenting back to everybody. You're doing those really important things that maybe you would prioritize. And that, in my mind, would mean that I was present as far as to my people. You might not be able to
yeah,
go through your feed and look at, like, who's tweeting, and that comes down to what you want to accomplish, right? If you want to
yeah,
accomplish looking at that, or you want to accomplish commenting back to the people and being present in those conversations.
yeah. Both. I still end up doing that a lot, and I think
Mhm.
I can make it more specific with my Twitter behavior because like I get a notification on Twitter, so it's easy for me to check it
Yeah.
and respond. But in terms of being present and making the most of a moment, what I need to do more of is time blocking. Like you said for your friend, exactly at 4:10 p.m. every day, I'm going to do a 5-minute meditation. Doesn't matter what I'm doing, where I am, 4:10 p.m., I'm going to meditate.
Yeah.
You know, Twitter, it gets 15 minutes of my attention afternoon, before noon, at whatever time. But in the behavior I exhibit, I have the compulsory my phone, my phone, my phone.
Yeah.
With so many things on the phone, it really has confused my mind. I know I'm not alone. It's like
No, it's a
there's
lot.
just so many buckets of information, like from like the most frivolous meme creator in the world to like your literal bank identity, not to mention your metaverse bank identity. So like
Yeah.
it's like, and that's not even the half of it. Um, so that is difficult and confusing, but so time blocking is important for that. So I know a tactic to go to be more present. And so what is the strategy? The strategy has to then become, I'm speaking for myself, like uh, optimizing the time
Yeah.
management, time
Yeah.
management.
Yep. That's great.
What was the question?
That was
I,
incredible. No, no, like we had talked about, literally, like you talk your way through the answer and then it almost gets a better answer. It's it
no,
really is great,
I'd be
dude.
really
Really.
curious to talk to somebody who listens to this podcast with little to no knowledge of who I am. I think
Yeah.
even the people who know who I am will
Mhm.
be like, yeah, Jeremy is a pretty esoteric guy.
You know what? I think you're gonna get a lot of people that don't know you, because you
Yeah,
you
that's
know
great.
that I'm heavy in the Nifty portal, and a lot of those people aren't VFriend people.
Mm,
So they might know who you are, but they probably don't know anything about you. So that'll be definitely cool.
yeah, I'm a
We're
nifty portal holder. We're all
That's
friends.
right.
We're
That's
all
right.
family.
We get all be family. So I'm going to share my screen. This is one of my favorite new things that I do on my podcast. This means a lot to me. This poem, it's called "The Dash" by Linda Ellis. I like to read it towards the very end, because it's super meaningful to me. So it reads: I read of a man who stood to speak at a funeral of a friend. He referred to the dates on her casket from beginning to the end. He noted that the first came the date of her birth and spoke the following date with tears. But he said what mattered most of all was the dash between those years. For that dash represents all the time that she spent alive on earth, and now only those who loved her know what that little line is worth. For it matters not how much we own, the cars, the house, the cash. What matters is how we live and love and how we spend our dash. So think about this long and hard. Are there things you would change? For you never know how much time is left that can still be rearranged. If we could just slow down enough to consider what is true and real, and always try to understand the way other people feel, and be less quick to anger and show appreciation more, and love the people in our lives like we have never loved before. If we treat each other with respect and more often wear a smile, remembering that this special dash might only last a little while. So when your eulogy is being read with your life's actions to rehash, would you be proud of the things they said and how you spent your dash? What do you think?
It's really nice.
Hits hard.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It does hit hard.
Yeah. It's really meaningful.
Dash. It's fast. It's a
Yeah.
fast dash.
It's a fast dash, dude. You
And
feeling
yeah,
good?
life is long.
Yep.
Life is long. Yeah, I mean, well, Gary talks about this all the time, right?
Yeah.
He's such a good role model for so many things. I know like he's very off-putting, and you called yourself Gary V Maxi, so like we're preaching to the choir here between us, but I admire him for the fact that he can target people at my funeral. That's what I'm most interested about. When I'm
Yeah.
thinking about, am I giving in this situation? Ultimately, is the person I'm interacting with willing to come to my funeral based on their perception, their interaction with me?
Yeah.
That's how he views his legacy.
Yeah.
And I think it totally is a, a celebration and a show of the people that someone was able to influence and love,
Yeah.
because ultimately, you know, it's not even that sappy. It's just like, I love you, man. I love
Yeah.
everything. I love all these people. I love the people that are listening and supporting and participating and sharing and driving all of this innovation. Like, we need more love in the world. And like,
Yeah.
I'm not bashful about saying it, because
Yeah.
I, sometimes I talk too much. It's like, it's so simple. And like, coming back to like, what is all this stuff and why has all this happened? PFPs and communities and all the rest. It's like, that belonging is huge, especially to come after a time where COVID isolated us.
Yeah.
Like, it's very profound. Like, I feel like the global psychological journey that has gone on in this small microcosm of the NFT space, in which so many people have come together. I'm sure there are many more wonderful things happening all over the world. We have to remember that this is like a very small group of people who are really experiencing it, and then the rest of the world, quote unquote, whoever's consuming that media, being like, so wait a minute, tell me again why there's six-figure sales of digital monkeys on the internet. Can someone please stop? I'm sorry, which timeline are we in? Can we reset? Like, what? This makes no sense. Why? When hunger and politics and all the rest. But like, the narrative is not a factor in what we are creating together. It's with you having the passion to interview people and get them to share their stories, and I honestly feel like lead the way, right? Like, there's leaders in this group.
Yeah. I agree. I agree, man. I think um, the leaders that are really trying to make a difference are going to rise for sure, and are really doing the right thing and moving the space forward, I think are going to rise. So the way that we are going to end the show is that you get to leave the community with a closing thought, and then you get to ask them a question.
Great. Ooh. How long can I tease out this moment for?
All I know is people are going to have to watch the YouTube.
What am I really
If,
curious about? Am I going to get answers to these questions? Have the
Yeah,
last couple
yeah,
episodes got some
100%.
answers?
No, absolutely not. But that doesn't mean you're not going to.
But they will. Okay. I feel like I've left a lot to take with you. I'm pretty sure check on your friends more than you check your floors is the best thing that's ever come out of my mouth.
That's incredible.
That's a good one. Take that one with you.
100%.
Here's a bonus one. Wherever you are listening to this, stand up, go get yourself some water, and shake your ass. You will feel
Yes.
better. You will feel better if you do those three things. Move your spine a little bit. It will honestly change your outlook and your attitude if you just move your vital zone a bit. Sometimes you just gotta like shake up the parts that because we get comfortable in our human, socially respectable bodies or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, no, nobody, nobody alive today created the human posture. They just copied everybody before them, right? So
Yeah.
I think that there's a lot of body movement that people don't realize feels really good, and sometimes it's just good to interrupt wherever you are with a little eccentric movement. And the question that I will ask is, did you do what I just said? Did anybody actually stand up and drink water? No. This feels so serious. I want to ask a really good question. You're not giving me any help. You're just letting me
I'm letting you
flounder.
think. I'm letting you think, dude. I'm patient, dude. I'm out here.
Yeah. This is what I do. Is I think out loud by speaking.
It's good.
Um. This will be good. I'd like to know what are the core ingredients to the best story you've ever heard.
Very good. Very good question. Let's go.
Alternatively, you can tell me what are the core ingredients of a great story, but I want to know a story you've heard.
Let's go. These are going to be some fire answers. And you're going to get some fire answers because the VFriend community is going to listen to this for sure.
I hope they do.
This is what I'm looking to break into the VFriend community. I have a lot of people that I talk to in the VFriend community, but I want them to see what I'm doing for sure.
I can't believe we talked on this for 2 hours. It like really flew by.
Yeah, very surprising. It went very
amazing.
very good, very smooth.
We need like just a little bit of like surprise. You listen to the end of the podcast. You know what I mean? Like I've got 3 surprises. We should make it 5. I've got 5 surprises.
All right.
So I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to execute this, but I can think of 2 NFTs I'm willing to give away. I have VFriends Uno cards I'm willing to give away. And I also have compete and collect cards, even maybe.
I'll give away a nifty portal. I'll give away a nifty portal.
And you'll give it. That'll be 5.
Okay. So wait. So we got nifty portal, Uno cards,
compete and collect. Not maybe a pack or a card. No. I'm keeping this. I'm opening the card. I will choose the card for you.
Okay, 1 card.
1 card.
Okay.
And 2 NFTs. I have to think about it.
Okay.
I mean, I can give away my own NFTs too.
We can do. You want to give? Okay, let's do 1. Okay. Nifty portal. Uno pack.
Yes.
1 play and collect trading card.
Yes.
1 Jeremyknows NFT.
Yes.
And then 1 random Jeremy NFT that he owns.
Yes.
Let's go. This is gonna be fire.
That'll be fun.
This is gonna blow up.
Somebody's gonna listen to this.
You're gonna get a lot of love from this.
I hope so.
How do we?
I love to be loved. Like
yeah, it's great.
It's
great.
For as much as yeah. Okay.
You've earned it. You've earned it. Let's put it that way.
Okay, I'll take it. But for as much as it's really important to set ego aside. It's very, very difficult. And Gary's a saint for being able to just plug his ears and not hear shit because I hear everything. Yeah. And it's ultimately when you don't align with someone on how they can interact with the world. For me, I'm like, okay, this is my weakness. Then how do I make it my strength? Gary's all about lean into your strengths. I actually, as a clown, have been trained to take my weakest link and make it like put it in the spotlight and make it my strength. Because you can imagine, like, in a clown situation, if I can't jump or something, like if I ignore the fact, jumping's a bad example. If I can't juggle, then the joke has to become that I can't juggle. I can't mope around and be sad.
Yeah.
Anyway, this was supposed to be an outro, and I went on a tangent. Did I
It's
even?
incredible.
We didn't get to a point where it's like, how do you enter this giveaway? I think it should be something for the podcast, right? We should
I have
share the
ideas.
podcast.
I have ideas about. Don't worry, we're gonna talk about that after, and we will post about
Good
it.
call.
So
Good call.
you guys will get all the alpha on how to get into the giveaway, and
It
this
will
is hype.
require effort.
100%. 100%. We
It
are
will
gonna bring that.
require risk.
Okay.
It will require even momentum.
100%. We're on a massive winning streak right now. It's not even funny, and I'm putting that winning streak onto every single person that listens to
Okay,
this.
second winning streak. If 55 people enter the giveaway, we'll double it.
Fuck it. I'll do it. Okay. I want to give 100%. Like, I'm down.
I really
This
do. I
is
want someone to win on this.
you guys heard it first. If we this is going to be wild. We will post about it. Don't worry. This is the Hyped Happy Hour, episode 5, with Gentle Tornado as your host and Jeremyknows as my guest. Thank you for listening. Subscribe, like, share this with anybody you think it will bring value to. I love you guys. Have a great night.
Thank you so much, man. Good night.